work Zoom. Okay, there we go. Let's share the screen. Let's not share the screen because I didn't choose the right button. Okay, right here. Share screen. There it is. Okay, so you probably remember this from last time. And today what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wrap up, not really wrap up, because we're still gonna do it on Thursday, but we're going to kind of put together everything that we've learned about quadrilaterals. And what we know about quadrilaterals is that every quadrilateral has how many sides and how many angles? Oh, I see Ms. Williams showing it. How many sides and angles? Show me. Quad. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Kayla. Has 4 sides, 4 angles. Thank you, Evan and Dalton and Logan. Okay. Miss Williams, are your muscles called quads because you have a set of 4 of them?
Yes, that is true.
All right. So is this your thigh right here? Oh, that's my calf. I can't show you my thigh, but your quad is the above your knee, that big old like chunky part of your leg, the thicker part of your leg. That's your quad, and you have 4 sets of muscles there. That's why they're called your quads. Because you have 4. And then quadriceps, that's the full name for it. Okay, so I know when was the last time we saw there? Thursday, I told you all the types of attributes for different types of quadrilaterals. And it was a lot, and I know it can be a little confusing. This is the most simplified version on how to know what type of quadrilateral you're looking at. So we have parallelograms, rectangles, squares, and rhombuses. Okay? Parallelograms, rectangles, squares, and rhombuses. A lot of these can go on top of each other. Like squares can be rectangles, but they can also be rhombuses. Squares and rectangles and rhombuses can be parallelograms. They all kind of go on top of each other. So we're going to ask ourselves if a shape has these attributes to figure out what it is. So let's go over the attributes. Let's pick someone. Who can tell me the attributes of a parallelogram?
Jayana, how about you start us off?
Can you read the question?
Yes. What are the attributes of a parallelogram? It's right there on the screen. Yep.
2 sets of parallel lines.
Yep, 2 sets of parallel lines. Good. Thank you, Jayana. All right. So that means the top and the bottom are parallel. That means they'll go straight ahead forever. And the side to side, the left and right will go on forever. I'm going to show you guys a quick little video to kind of demonstrate that. I just want to go over this real quick. Okay, a rectangle. Who can read me the attributes of a rectangle? I saw Logan's hand up earlier.
The attributes of a rectangle is 4 right angles.
4 right angles. Perfect, thank you. Do you see these little red squares inside the rectangle? Those are right angles. That means you can make a square. If you try to put little lines on the corner, it will make a perfect little square. That's what a right angle means. If I try to do that over here, let me show you. If I try to do that over here, stop, there we go. That's not a square, okay? That makes, yeah, that's a quadrilateral, but that's not a square. Because, oh, sorry. Because a square is this. Who can read me the attributes of a square?
Dalton.
Dalton?
What's that? Make sure you unmute yourself, buddy. Dalton, do you know how to unmute yourself?
There you are. What are the attributes of a square?
4 right angles, all sides are equal.
Yep, a square has 4 right angles and all sides are equal.
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you, Dalton. And then, last but not least, the rhombus. What are the attributes of a rhombus? Let's see. Have we called on Christian yet?
I have not.
All right.
Christian, can you read that for us? The attributes of a rhombus. Thank you.
All sides equal.
All sides are equal. Okay. So,
Also,
yeah.
my tablet stopped working, so right now I'm on my dad's computer because my mom went to go to work right now.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you. All right. So, in order for us to figure out if a shape is this type of quadrilateral, we need to ask ourselves, does it have 2 sets of parallel lines? Does it have 4 right angles? So if it says yes to this, then it's that shape. And it might say yes to more than some of these because, again, a rectangle is also a parallelogram. A square is also a rectangle. So sometimes you might say yes to more of these, okay? Now, let me stop sharing really quick and let me get this video here.
JV, as she do that, can you hear us? Not sure if you can hear us. JV.
Is he there? JV, can you hear us?
Can you hear us, buddy? He has on his headphones.
Yeah. Let me message, let's send them a message and see. Okay, let me share my screen again. All right, and we are not gonna watch this whole video, but, and I'm just gonna hide this over here. All right.
What I want to talk about in
Can you guys hear that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
this video is shapes with 4 sides. And the mathy word for shapes with 4 sides is quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. And anytime you see quad as part of a word, it's a good sign that you're dealing with the number 4 somehow. So a quadrilateral is something that has 4 sides. So that is a quadrilateral. This is a quadrilateral. This is a quadrilateral. They all have 4 sides. This is a quadrilateral. Even this is a, let me make it look even weirder. Even this is a quadrilateral. So what's not a quadrilateral? Well, a triangle would not be a quadrilateral. It has 3 sides, 1, 2, 3. So let's cross that out. A pentagon that has 5 sides, that would not be a quadrilateral. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. A circle that has, I guess you could say, no sides. It's just one big curve. It's a circle. That's not going to be a quadrilateral. If you had 6 sides, 7 sides, 100 sides, none of that is going to be a quadrilateral. So now let's think about the different types of quadrilaterals, or the different categories of quadrilaterals. So one is the parallelogram. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, and as we learn more math, we'll learn other ways of thinking about this. It's a quadrilateral where opposite sides are parallel, and parallel is just another way of saying that they're going in the same direction. So what do I mean by that? So something like this would be a parallelogram. Why? because this side is opposite to this side, and they're pointed in the same direction. They're going, if I were to draw an arrow, here, those arrows are pointed in the same way. So those two sides are pointed, are parallel, is the word we say, and these two sides right over here are parallel. So this is a parallelogram. So what are other examples of parallelogram? Well, even your classic square is a parallelogram. And we'll talk more about what makes a square special. It's a special type of parallelogram because this side is going in the same direction as that side, and this side, whoops, let me do that in yellow, and this side is parallel to that side. So what's not a parallelogram?
Oh.
Well, something like this would not be a parallelogram. You might say, wait, I see two opposite sides are parallel. You might say, look, this is parallel to this. But then you would see that this is not parallel to this. One way to think about some things that are not parallel is if the lines kept going, they would cross each other at some point. While these lines right over here, they're never going to cross each other. So this one right over here is not a parallelogram. It has one set of opposite sides being parallel, but not the other. Another example of something that is not a parallelogram would be this one right over here, because none of the opposite sides are parallel. So parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel.
Okay, that's what I wanted to go over there really quick because I noticed that we were getting confused on what parallel lines were. Let me see you guys again. So does that make a little bit more sense about what parallel means and what parallelograms are? Yes, no, maybe so. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I figured that would make a little bit more sense because he drew pictures and I feel like he explained it a little clearer than I could ever have.
Thank you, Patience, for dropping it in the chat.
Oh yeah, let me see that chat. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
All right, good. Okay. And then the rest of what he was going to talk about was what we're about to do. So that's why I'm doing it. Can you still see my screen?
Yes. we
Okay,
can.
cool. All right. So I have four quadrilaterals, 4 parallelograms. And we are trying to find the difference between squares and rectangles. Squares and rectangles. So let's look back at our attributes. A square needs to have 4 right angles and all sides need to be equal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it so that you can look at it. And we are going to sort this. So is it a square? A, B, C, D. Are you going to look at the shape? Is it a square? If it's yes, then so on your paper, like we did a couple weeks ago, just kind of, let me see. I have an example of this right here. On a piece of paper, you're just going to do yes, no. Then you're just going to write the letter of the shape. So if letter A you think is a square, you're going to put letter A. If you don't think it's a square, then you're going to put letter A under no. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of work time. I'm going to give you 1 minute to sort these shapes. Which ones are squares? So you need to ask yourself, does it have 4 right angles? Are all sides equal? You need to say yes to both of those. One minute. I'm gonna choose 4 random people. Yes, ma'am.
Can we give them one second to get their paper set up?
Oh yeah. No, you're good. Sorry.
that she had to get their paper. So let's give everyone like a minute to get their paper at 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're ready for us to start the 1 minute, just give us a thumbs up.
All
That
right.
everybody is ready.
Thank you, Miss Williams.
You're welcome. I kept saying stuff and I was muted. I'm like, oh my gosh. Dalton, buddy.
Dalton. 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 Let me send his mom a message.
Wow. You're muted.
Okay. All right, and it looks like everyone has their paper now, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the 1 minute. I'm gonna pick 4 random people.
Why'd Miss Williams leave?
I think she's still there. She's probably doing something. All right. Logan, is it a square? Yes or no? So if it's a square, just write the letter. So if you think shape A is a square, you're gonna just write the letter yes or no. If you think no, then you're gonna put it under no. So let's start with Felix. So Felix, shape A. Do you think shape A is a square?
I don't think shape A is a square
Why not?
because it has no right angles.
Okay, so A is actually a tricky one. Let me show you some magic here. What if I
Oh,
did this? What do you think now, Felix?
Now I think it's square.
It definitely is a square. So this one, I tricked you guys a little bit. I wanted to see what you guys thought. I just turned it a little bit to see if you guys would think it's a square or not. Because even if I turned it like this way or like this way, it would still be a square because it still has 4 right angles and all sides are equal. It's just a little harder to see when when it's flipped over. So what I do here, if I could just take this little square, if I do that, bam! You see that? All right. So,
What'd you have to do him like that?
I'm sorry. I did all y'all like that though.
I mean, I would mention that, like, even I was tricked up, but I think it was because I was moving too quick, Miss Miranda, and I didn't, like, look at the picture and try to make sure, like, by putting the square that they were right.
Oh yeah.
You know,
So That's the tricky thing about shapes. So, all right, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for tricking you like that. Can you forgive me? All right, patience.
Yes.
B, shape B. Is that a square?
B is not a square
It is not a square. Why not?
because B is not a square because it is longer.
The top and bottom sides are longer.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
That means they both are equal.
That means that all sides are
The same.
no.
Uh.
You just told me they're not the same. Are all sides the same size?
No.
No. So because all sides are not equal, it is not a square. The top and the bottom sides are the same. The left and the right sides are the same, but they're not all the same. All right, what about C? Evan, C. Is C a square?
C is a square
Why?
because it has 4 equal sides.
4 equal sides. And does it have 4 right angles?
Yeah.
You got it. All right, what about D? Nikayla, is D a square?
D is not a square
Why not?
because D is not a square because it has stop. D is not a square because it don't have no right angles.
Yeah, it doesn't have any right angles. So just that alone would not make it a square. And also, all sides are not the same. So good job. All right. Now, let's get into the even trickier one. Is this a rectangle? Are these rectangles? So let's go into the attributes of a rectangle. So rectangles, just does it have 4 right angles? If you could say yes, it has 4 right angles, it's a rectangle, period. That's it. So you need to ask yourself, does it have 4 right angles? So once again, I'm going to give you a minute to sort these 4 shapes. One of the right angles has disappeared. Let me make it come back.
Miss Miranda,
Yes, ma'am.
I can see the screen.
You can't or you can?
I can't.
You can't see the screen?
No.
Let me stop and start again. What about now?
Yes.
All right, cool. So 1 minute, thank you, patience. Is it a rectangle? A, B, C, and D, yes or no?
And Miss Miranda, I'm gonna drop.
So Adrian, how do you know shape A is a rectangle?
I know because it has 2 long sides and 2 short sides.
Has 2 long sides, 2 short sides. All right, good. And it also has what?
4 corners.
Yeah, 4 corners, 4 right angles. Okay. All right. Shape B. Let me see that chat. JV, are you there? Is shape B a rectangle?
Yeah, I have that here.
Okay, go on the front. Don't go back in the room.
Okay.
Do that. What?
You're muted.
Is Alex's microphone working? Alex, can you hear us?
Miss Miranda, you're muted.
Dang it!
We both were muted.
Dawson, go to bed.
Thank you. Okay.
I told you.
I thought you were talking to Miss Williams because she was muted. All right, Alex. I don't know if your mic is working, but could you shake your head or nod your head? Is B a rectangle? Yeah, and it totally is. It's a square, but it's also a rectangle. Again, if you could say yes, it has 4 right angles, then yeah, it's a rectangle. All right, C. Esteban, is C a rectangle?
C is not a rectangle
And why not?
because it doesn't have 4. Even though it has 4 angles, the other one's like more lined out, and it's not even sides.
Yeah, it has 4 angles, but we're looking for 4 right angles. So good job. And then D. Elena, is D a rectangle?
I think D isn't a rectangle.
You think it's not a rectangle?
Yeah,
Why not?
because they don't have any right angles.
All right, so I'm gonna take these little right angles here, and I'm just gonna move one. Do you still think that's the case?
Yeah.
You don't think it has any right angles? No. Let's see. What do we think about what Elena said? Who haven't we heard from yet?
Haven't heard from.
Have we heard from Emmanuel yet?
No, we haven't. Emmanuel, we haven't.
So Emmanuel, do you agree with Elena? Do you think this is not a rectangle?
Make sure you unmute yourself, Emmanuel.
I think it is a rectangle because it has 4 right angles.
Yeah. So if you see here, these squares fit perfectly in the corners. That's because they're right angles, Elena. So good risk. It does have 4 right angles. So D is a rectangle. Okay, so let's wrap everything all up. So now that we know squares and rectangles and we can tell the difference, now I'm going to give you guys one more quadrilateral. And these are the questions that you need to ask yourself to wrap it all up. I see 2 people have raised their hand. So let me just go over the questions here real quick. So first, you're gonna write down the number of sides and angles that the shape has. You need to say, does the shape have parallel sides? Yes or no? Does the shape have square corners? Yes or no? Does the shape have 2 pairs of sides the same length? Yes or no? And is the shape a quadrilateral? Okay, so a lot of these are just yes or no. The only one you really have to explain is number 13. So I'm gonna leave this here. Remember everything we've talked about. Do you think 3 minutes is enough time for this, Miss Williams? Oh, Miss Williams, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. I was saying, yeah, 3 minutes is fine.
All right, cool. So we're gonna have you guys check We're gonna check you guys here in a second by showing me your answers. And also I'm gonna pick some people randomly to answer the questions real quick. So 3 minutes on my timer. Go ahead and write down these answers. Go. Jayana. Jayana, so how many sides and angles does this shape have?
How many sides and angles this shape has? 4.
It has 4 sides and 4 angles. Good. 1. Ooh, that's our bad color. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4. So good job, Jayana. 4 sides, 4 angles. Evan, does this shape have parallel sides?
The shape does not have parallel sides.
Does not have parallel sides. Good job. So remember, parallel means they're going in the same direction, and none of these sides are going the same direction. So good job. No. Okay. Does the shape have square corners? Logan?
The shape does not have square corners.
It does not have square corners. Good job. So I could not make a square in any of these corners, no matter how hard I want to try. That made a pentagon. That made another pentagon. And that made a weird quadrilateral. Okay. Number 12, does the shape have 2 pairs of sides that are the same length? Christian? And Christian, don't forget to unmute yourself. So does the shape have 2 pairs of sides the same length? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. This side, oh gosh, this side and this side are the same length, and this side and this side are the same length. So this one is yes. Now I want everyone to drop in the chat. Is this shape a quadrilateral? Just type in yes or no in the chat. Is this a quadrilateral? Yes or no? Drop it in the chat.
Let's see who gets it first. Oh. Felix says yes. Nikayla says no. Evan says yes. That's all we have so far.
Logan says yes.
Says yes. Jayana says yes. Faith says yes. Elena says no. Esteban says yes. Emmanuel says yes. Jayana also said yes.
Lots of yeses.
Yes. Nikayla changed her answer to yes.
Okay, let's see who.
I think a few people did not drop. I think just 1 or 2.
Ms. Woods, who haven't we heard from in a while?
I think Nikayla, because she changed her answer, so I'm interested to see what her thought was.
All right, so Nikayla, why did you change your answer?
What was the question again? Can you repeat my headphones?
Is this shape a quadrilateral?
This shape is a quadrilateral.
And then why? Why did you say yes?
Because the sides because the right side is the same as the left side.
Okay, so you're saying that it is a quadrilateral because it has two sides that are the same length? Okay. Let's see who else said yes.
Okay, let's go with someone else who we haven't heard from in a while.
So Nikayla says yes because the sides are the same length. Let's hear someone else why they also said yes. Trying to see who I haven't written down yet. Have we heard from JV? Can you hear us now? You said yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So why did you say yes? Why did you say this is a quadrilateral?
It has 4 sides and
Because
4 right angles.
Because it has 4 sides and 4 right angles. All right. Let's hear one more. Who else said yes? Let's see what they said. Let's just hear one more. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Faith.
Faith? Oh, okay. Faith.
Make sure you unmute yourself, Faith. There we go, honey.
I think I said yes because wait.
Even
though they're not all the sides are not the same size, and there are 4 sides.
yeah. All right. So Faith and JV both got it. And Nikayla, I think you were starting to get on the right track. We do have 2 pairs of sides the same length, but if you take 2 plus 2, that would give you 4. So this is a quadrilateral because it has not two sides, because it has 4 sides.
And 4 angles.
4 sides and 4 angles.
I think JV said that they have right angles. And so.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It just be angles, not even, they don't have to be right angles.
Yeah, just angles. It doesn't even, if it has 4 right angles, that would make it then a what? If it had 4 right angles, that would make it a what? I was about to tell you, but why would I tell you?
Oh, we tell you. It'll make it a what? Unmute yourself and tell us. If it has 4 right angles, what would it make it?
Let's just hear someone say it.
It would make it a parallelogram.
4 right angles?
A quadrilateral.
It's still a quadrilateral, but what kind of quadrilateral? What kind of parallelogram? What has 4 right angles? There's 2 possible answers. You're gonna make me cry. We just did a whole thing on it. Who said it?
A rectangle?
Rectangle.
Rectangle? Was that Faye?
Yeah.
Yeah, Faye.
Oh, that said square.
And a square.
Rectangle.
Yeah. A rectangle or a square would be a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. Whew. I got scared for a second. All right. That's the lesson for today. Let me show you what we're gonna do on Thursday. And I'm just gonna tell you this because a piece of paper and like a marker. or something to draw on, because we're gonna make something like this on Thursday, and I'll tell you how.
Did
So
you
look
use
at
some? Did you use some tape and shape it out?
I'll show you how to do it on Thursday. You gotta come on Thursday. I'm not gonna say anything
That's on Thursday.
Okay.
else.
Yes, to come to class.
That look hard.
That's not hard. It is very easy.
Cause usually when I draw stuff, it takes longer than I thought it would be. I'm a rat.
Okay. Ms. Williams, do you have anything else to wrap it up?
Tomorrow we'll be answering questions over chapters 10, 11, 12 that we read the other day.
Oh.
Please make sure. Hi, Faith. Happy to see your face. Please make sure that you are on iReady and Lexia. Ms. Williams assigned 2 lessons that are due on Wednesday, so they're due tomorrow. If you need help, feel free to reach out to Miss Miranda or I. Esteban, just a second, we'll get to your questions. That's it. That's all I have. Now, Esteban, what's your question?
I got another way to say goodbye.
Okay, cool. We'll get there in just 1 second. Anybody has any other questions? Going once, going twice.
Nikayla, you have your Zoom hand up. Did you have something, Nikayla?
Oh, she had his own. She said no.
No? Okay. All right, so Esteban, what's your way?
It's in Japanese,
Oh, okay.
and this is how you say it. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Can you
Yeah.
say it again?
Sayonara.
Sayonara?
Yeah. Sayonara.
Is it sayonara?
Hi, Tyree.
Sayonara.
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 Is it sayonara?
It sounds like sayonara. Sayonara.
Is that what it
Sayonara.
is? Is it
Sayonara. Miss Williams, it's funny how you always get your iPhone out.
It's funny how I always get my iPhone.
Yeah.
Because she records it every time.
Every time.
I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Sayonara. Hold it on these.
Sayonara. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
All right. Are we ready?
Right.
3.
Whoa. I see a lot of people computers not unmuted. Emmanuel, Alex, Evan, Michaela.
Where did Patience go?
Look, it's all in the chat.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Sayonara.
Sayonara.